Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Media This by Night. Today we have two members of the Mages meeting. We'll be meeting up at Rose's Hookah Shop. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
Rose is just wandering around cleaning up some business stuff.
Well, Aline would be, I'd say, still dressed in his fancy suit, looking dapper as fuck. But since it's closer to summer, uh, he kind of removes a few pieces of it, so it's not that hot.
Rose is probably just wearing a sundress. Maybe a pair of flats.
Cool. Aline would be saying, "Hello, Rose."
It's Alden or Alan? Our character.
Aline.
Ali. She'll say, hello, Ali. How can I help you today?
Well, uh, I've got stuff to do, and it's like, uh, I want to run a few things over with you, so maybe I can get my head in order. I don't know.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Uh, I've got a list in my head, and it's like, I don't know. There are a lot of things.
I can set up a hookah for us.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Would you like any drinks or food or anything?
Well, since I'm driving, just regular orange juice.
Alrighty. And she'll get this stuff set up and um, but she'll get everything set up and stuff. I invite you to sit.
Aline would be sitting at one of the pillows because I'm usually hookah shops, from what I've seen in the pictures, have pillows.
It depends. Roses has both pillows and benches.
Okay. Uh, since this is Rose's choice, he'd let her pick.
She go with the pillows.
All right, pillows it is. He would be sitting on one of the pillows.
Is there anything particular you'd like to try today?
Um, I've mostly came here for the discussion rather than the hookah in and of itself. So
Alrighty.
I'll let you decide because I generally don't use the hookah, or rather, I don't use it at all. I haven't tried one since I've been in Montreal. So it's been like, I think, 2 years now.
Well, what you'll do is you'll pick a just you'll probably just take a regularly flavored che- but yes, that word that I cannot pronounce today.
Uh, I have no clue, so what that word is. So I don't know. Not I'm not the leading the authority when it comes to hookahs, neither in or nor out of character. So,
Um, so what is it you would like to discuss today?
well, at a point, just so that you know something about me, so it's not like you're talking to a total stranger. Uh, if you haven't figured out from my accent, I'm coming from Romania,
Uh-huh.
albeit from a city called Timișoara from the west. Um, I've awoke as a mage in Montreal, and ever ever since then, I've kind of been wandering aimlessly, searching for a purpose, finding my own path, as it were. And then I came to Minneapolis, and I started to kind of like the city, especially the many types of cheese there are here.
Mm.
Because it may not be fair to you if you just know me from my name and my tradition.
Um, see, I'm actually from Hong Kong. It's a very nice city, somewhat very adventurous. Um, let's see, 18 years old, and I also awoke in Hong Kong.
Hmm. What made you decide to get here?
It's where my father lived before we, all you went to Hong Kong.
Ah, so it's kind of like returning to your hometown, so to speak.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah. Is there something else you wanted to discuss, or we just talking today?
Yeah, I'm just talking today on various stuff that I want to sort out through my mind. Maybe you've got some special insight as well. And I am 28 instead of 18. Uh, it's kind of weird. I even went to Montreal to actually get my doctorate, believe it or not. But that never came to be because I awoke. And then, you know, I've been trained about magic by multiple people. So for the longest time, I was considered orphan, even though technically I still got both of my parents alive.
I'm not sure if you know, but I'm Order of Hermes. Don't know if you knew that.
Pretty sure you even said something about House Flambeau or something.
No, it's not that house, actually.
Mm.
That's my father's house.
Ah, then I'm thinking of someone else. I don't know. Usually, when I'm thinking House Flambeau, I'm thinking someone with a flaming sword and a propensity to throw fireballs everywhere, even though forces can be used in multiple different other ways.
Yes, my focus tends to be towards water and ice.
Yeah, that's legit. Uh, Whenever I'm thinking of forces, I'm thinking of the various forces of nature, and well, when I'm thinking forces, I'm thinking matter as well, so that I can transmute everything that I see into something that I can use.
Hmm, it's an interesting take.
I mean, hey, sometimes I need flames, but I only have water.
It's fair.
Or I've got way too much wind, but I need some water, and I transform the wind into water. It's already there. It's just figuring out the right tool for the job. Because sometimes I've got all the time in the world and I can ritualize everything, and you get me looking all fancy and putting things and saying things, waving my lightsaber around, looking
Do
all
you actually
silly.
use a lightsaber?
I have a legit lightsaber, yes.
It's amazing.
Why?
Well, I just like it.
Well, it's a gift when I've entered the Alexandrian Society of the Celestial Choir. Although some say choir, others say chorus. I like to say it like a choir instead of chorus. Yeah, my preference. What can I say? And
I'll
generally,
try to remember that.
okay, okay. It's just my way of thinking has been that of an orphan for the longest time, so my approach to magic is a lot more unorthodox than the vast majority of magi that I've seen,
Mhm.
especially since my way of approaching things is more like adapt to the situation. And so adapt your tools to what is required of you, not the other way around.
Mhm.
So I can literally use everything for everything, but with one caveat. I have to think that it's magic first, because if I don't believe it's magic, it won't work. Kind of built a fail safe in order to make sure that I'm not accidentally activating something in my sleep.
But
You know,
see, the way my
even the
paradigm works, I'm basically bending the world to my will.
oh, if we're talking paradigm, that's even funnier. It just works because mine has been referred to somewhat like, what was it? Oh yeah, jeez. It's all good. Have faith. It's the most awesome paradigm that I could think of because it works, and my approach to it, my practice is of shamanism. That's why most of the time I refer to myself as a techno shaman because I
Mhm.
use computers as well. Some people like to just use everything but technology, while others use technology exclusively. And I'm sort of the middle ground. My philosophy, if you've picked up on it, is finding the middle ground for everything.
That's nice. I don't have much of a philosophy.
Well, part of it, part of it is like part of the reason why sphere, as a sphere, my sphere is spirit instead of prime is because I believe that every one of us is part of the choir that makes the one and the prime, or as I like to call it, the God machine.
I'm more of a mind person. That is my primary sphere.
If I'm being completely honest, I know how to do spirit and mind and correspondence kind of the same at the same level, and it's basically at max at my current capacity. And I'm not rushing to get my seeking.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm studying multiple spheres, seeing what I can come up with.
Yeah, that's legit. Basically, my end goal is technically to create my own Stargate, just like the TV series. and everything that I learn is a step into that direction. And if I can have more than just the one, that would be awesome. One for every chantry at least. But I want to take the design a bit farther than in the TV show, you know. Make it all cray cray, like getting Doctor Who involved and sliders as well. Although technically there was that one episode in Doctor Who that they went into a parallel dimension.
Yes, they almost destroyed the TARDIS.
Yeah, but I'm not planning on making a TARDIS. I'm planning on making the Stargate. Stargates are kind of like the epitome of my magic, in, in essence. They just take you everywhere you want to go, and hopefully I can design it safe enough for a lot of people to go in and out with their things and their vehicles. At least that's what I want to do when I get to master level mage.
I wish you luck in your endeavors. Maybe
Thanks.
someday I'll reach that as well.
Hey, you've got all the time in the world to think about your own whatchamacallit.
My own goals.
Yep. I mean, it's not like anyone's forcing you to do a thing yet. You never know which superior of yours will turn up one day and say, "Hey, do this because I say so." Mm. So, right now, I'm doing my own thing as much as I can. So, I've kind of, I don't know, grown to like the city that I'm in. So I'm keep thinking of various ways to protect it. You know,
Yeah.
that's that's why I was kind of thrilled when you made that cabal. I'm still kind of a bit perplexed every time you take out that purple dildo.
I use it as a weapon.
I'm sure you do. Fuck, prime charge it and then set it on fire, ice, lightning, make it look all spooky and tentacly and shit, and it'll be everyone's worst nightmare. Hmm.
I have been thinking about awakening it. Just need to manage to get the time to get around to it.
Yeah, that's usually the thing. Hmm. Personally, I'm still concerned that, from what I've heard from Mister Fix, that there is a spiritual void of naturally occurring spirits. You know.
Yeah, he mentioned that. But then again, if I can be honest, he has his head stuck way too far up the Council of Elders axis. He won't think
I
for himself.
I mean, you know, he's got his own ideas. Personally, I wanted to find a way where we could have a forum to speak in freely, and I found a dimension specifically for the council to hang around, you know? Found a way. Then, when I heard about the Void of Spirits, I'm like, okay, how can I help so that there is no void and my particular patron is satisfied? And the answer was basically spirits of knowledge, mystery, and shadows, essentially.
Was it quite
So,
interesting?
so I went to the resident alpha dog that knows the best about spirits, and he kept on, you know, for a person that's supposed to give you the answers, he made me answer my own questions for me. But I came to the conclusion that uh, mostly the other two aren't that worth it, so I'll stick with just knowledge. So, in general, where do spirits of knowledge usually hang around?
Try a library. Just pop into them or
Yeah, I'm usually going with libraries because libraries are supposed to be the places where you learn shit.
what about college? College campuses tend to have
Yeah, colleges have libraries as well. In place everywhere where you learn things, it can thrive. I mean, even if you have, let's say, at your own place, you've got a library, get a spirit of knowledge there, and you can learn things way easier than normal. But here's the downside of everything that I'm a bit unclear on how to do. Because even though technically I do have correspondence, I can't necessarily awaken the spirits of knowledge from everywhere without some drawback. Because, everyone's awake and then they're like, okay, why am I awake? Or whatever. And, if they're just awake for the sake of being awake, they'll just do whatever they fucking feel like, be influenced by everyone. So technically, I should be there every time I'm awakening the spirit of knowledge and say, hey, I want you to, besides doing what you're supposed to do, make sure that, reality doesn't solidify, no avatar storms are going on, protect us from the outer darkness, praise Ta. Because, by the way, my spiritual patron is Ta.
I'm not sure what that means.
Uh, do you know Egyptian mythology?
Uh, somewhat.
Ta is from there. He's married to Bastet,
Oh, okay.
and technically he holds the key to the whole universe. Everywhere that is the Umbra, he has a back door to it.
Nice.
Every dimension that you can think of, every pocket dimension you can think of, everywhere, it can be there. So, in essence, think of the trickster god that can go everywhere to pull every prank ever, everywhere. Because he is the face of Coyote.
Hmm. Nice.
But the point is, I served Ta, and I want to get
Him
Ta's
into the
minions,
city.
his minions, not him.
Okay.
Because obviously he is everywhere. It's not even a question of getting him in. He is here. He's there. He's everywhere. It's kind of his thing.
Mhm.
That's another point. I need his minions to be everywhere. Hence, awakening spirits of knowledge that serve Ta.
Okay. It's quite interesting. I personally follow the Great Dragon, one of the 9 great dragons of Hong Kong. And my particular Great Dragon holds the power of water over fire.
Cool. So yours is a water dragon.
Yes.
Neat. Hmm. How does your dragon feel about spirits of knowledge? Usually.
Sorry, what?
How does your dragon feel about spirits of the knowledge usually?
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I can't, I can't tell you what a giant spirit thinks.
I mean, I usually text with mine, so
Mine doesn't text.
to each his own. Mine's awesome that way. We text. That's why I kind of know stuff. Well, usually I'm the one that's telling him things from the TV show John Oliver,
Mm-hmm.
and from time to time giving him American Spirit cigarettes by the big ass box loads. But, you know, hey, everyone has their own relationship with their spiritual patron, I guess. Because I don't like to call him Totem. Because every time I'm thinking of Totem, I'm thinking of that hole with all of the carvings of animals. He's much more than that.
Okay. So, um, the drifters have a sort of pact going on with great spirits or whatever, that basically means that they'll help and serve each other. And I was thinking maybe we could get something like that going on for the mages as well.
Something like what?
The spirit check that the werewolves have.
I mean, as long as you make the right deals, yeah, you can. You just have to know which of the greater incarna like the others.
I was thinking another guy.
You do realize that's one of the Celestials, right?
Yes, that's the point.
That's like asking Luna or fucking the sun.
Helios.
Okay, usually you don't ask Gaia herself, but okay. I don't even know what to ask of Gaia besides keeping her clean.
Well,
Don't.
I just wanted to make a pact with somebody high enough on the totem pole to have everybody else respect that pact and be able to work with all sorts of spirits without having, like, if a werewolf would pay tunage to a spirit, then the spirit would help in some way in return. But
Yeah,
if mages pay tunage to a spirit, the spirit could just take the tunage and leave and not do anything for you. So I was wanting to have something sort of like what the werewolves have going on.
I mean, sure. I personally I don't understand why the werewolves have that better of a deal than we do, because we're both shamans, and I'm kind of perplexed about it.
I'm not sure. That's what I want to work on.
Well, fine enough, as long as you find a way to contact Gaia and Ta is okay with that. I'm okay with it as well.
Should probably talk to my chantry leaders, see what they think.
Just remember, Gaia is the big mama of them all.
I don't know. That's the point.
As long as you remember that, it's cool. It's usually I don't even know what image you'd offer Gaia herself. That's the problem.
It's fair.
To a certain degree, I'm not even sure as to why apparently there's only the summer fairies and the winter fairies and not the spring and autumn fairies. So I'm trying to talk to a shaman of that works under Chimera to figure that shit out and maybe get them out to play. Because global warming is a thing, you know?
It is.
As much as some people like to think it's not. Fuck, just stay in the sun for a bit and you immediately feel like you're burning your skin off.
Mm-hmm.
Especially during the summer. Or at least that's how I feel the more I get older. I don't know. It's a weird thing. So, to a certain degree, I'm still investigating as to why there's only 2 out of 4 seasons represented, which is kind of annoying. Because personally, I think spring has the best foods out there.
Mm-hmm. Like fruit.
Like a lot of food, like when you make, especially spring eels, and the cheese is the best during spring. The meat is the best during spring. It's like everything tastes better in spring. I don't know why, but it just does to me. Even though technically I'm born during autumn, and of course there's the harvest there, but it, I don't know. I tried the autumn season things, and they just don't taste as well as the spring ones.
Mm-hmm.
As much as it has its own allure.
It does.
Because I'm not dissing autumn because I was born during autumn, which is kind of ironic if you think about it.
Yeah, no. The thing about the they are it's quite complicated.
Yeah, that's why I want to go to a shaman of Chimera to explain it for me. If I find one, of course. Because that's usually the whole thing. Find one.
Yes.
Because,
Tends to
you
be
know,
difficult.
here's the catch 22 that I've gotten in another thing. I went to actually find some hidden assets of a company that apparently has been blown up. And the thing is, I can't find jack shit because there isn't any thing left because the servers that used to hold all that information happened to go into an explosion of, you know, epic proportions. So there isn't anything else about it in the internet, which is kind of annoying. So I'm trying to figure out something extracurricular and approach it through other means. It's annoying, but I still gotta figure out how to pull that shit off to make good on my promise.
I'll talk to the Agra or the vampires. You may know somebody.
Yes, here's the thing, one of the servants of the Ardroi is the one that tasked me with that. So it's like, hey, go back to the source and be like, I got that. When technically I can get something as long as I get someone with enough time to get the shit done, you know?
Mhm.
So it's not totally lost ish, but it's a matter of finding the right person for the job.
And which job is this again?
Hmm?
Which job is this?
Finding hidden data about a company that's already gone to smithereens, literally. Like the company doesn't exist anymore at all, which is kind of ironic when you think about it.
And why would you need the Fairbox help with such a task?
Because magic, or technically, what I actually would need is like, do you know about somewhat the history of the Wraiths here?
No race.
Here.
I do not actually.
Yeah, apparently a long, long time ago, here, not in a galaxy far, far away. Apparently, there were some Native American tribes fighting with some Viking tribes. And then a medicine woman kind of cursed the chieftains of both tribes. And now, today, someone wants to rekindle said hatred. And I'm trying to figure out through the various tethers that are out there which ones are causing troubles and which ones are safe to use, you know?
Hmm.
And I told the Ardrai about, hey, check your tethers to make sure that they're not doing anything that they're not supposed to be doing. Yes. Reviving ancient hatreds isn't something that you're supposed to be doing as a tether.
Mhm.
Not really, at least to my end. Unless literally you're putting tethers that are of warring people right next to each other to make the hunt be wacky and crazy as fuck, like the way in the Supernatural Museum is going around. Because apparently there's a museum of supernatural history or something like along those lines. I don't know. I'm just like calling that place the museum, and well, while I've been there to the Shadowlands, it's like, you know how there's that viral link on Facebook about the xenophobia glasses.
I'm not
It's
sure who
kind
you're
of,
talking. I'm not sure who
yeah,
you're
it's
talking about.
it's kind of like wearing xenophobia glasses when you're there, but the VR kind. Like there's a sector for each culture, and each culture perceives each other culture as their enemies, and they're fighting with each other in eternal battle. And the only ones left standing are, as you guessed it, Vikings and Native Americans. Well, because apparently that's a thing. So I'm trying to figure out how to stop that before we get into a Holy Grail war scenario.
That seems like a good idea.
And essentially, I'm trying to figure out how to stop it without fucking everything else up, you know? Which is kind of hard. And then I keep on hearing about shit like no naturally occurring spirits are out there, and I'm like immediately thinking, oh my fucking god, please don't let it be an avatar storm. I don't want reality to be fucking solidified so that I don't get into the Umbra anymore, and I'm like trying to figure out how to implement the stopgap measures and solve the whole hatred thing in the meantime, you know?
Yeah, that seems a little complicated.
Yeah. And to top it all off, there's the situation that we talked about with the orphanage that basically, for some reason, Banes are there.
I have that orphanage situation.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't want the whole Umbrascape to be populated with Banes, because that's a no-no that no one wants to deal with.
You know, I can understand that.
Sorry?
She said I can understand that.
Yeah. So essentially, I'm like trying to keep in mind at all times that whatever I do, at any point, there will be someone that might be yelling, "No, stop it! You're doing something stupid. Stop!" And I'm like, "What? This was the safest option." And he's like, "No, stop it! No." Because that's the risk that I'm always running into at one point or another. Someone just yelling that I'm stupid, and my my option is dumb, whatever. But hey, you know, that's kind of just another thing in my life that I gotta deal with. So, how do you stop the Umbrascape from being populated with Banes, especially Banes that feed on the fear and hatred of a war that should have been long past by now?
I put hope
And
there instead.
sorry,
I would put hope there instead.
okay, how?
Create it.
Well, my solution for that would be get more spirits of knowledge and get back the fairies that represent spring and autumn. Because spring is awesome. Just saying, spring is awesome.
It is awesome.
I mean, to a certain degree, autumn is awesome too because the fall sort of has some stuff that are good with it. I mean, technically, it would gel well with basically who I am in the sense of, yeah, knowledge, shadows, mysteries, secrets, whatever, you know? Because basically, autumn people are magi to a certain degree. Not everyone, but a lot of people. Even though technically, us mages should be more as a force of creation, birth, rebirth, and continuing the cycle like the spring people should be. Although technically, I shouldn't necessarily say people, they're more fairies, but whatever, or the
Yeah.
Fae. I don't know. At a point, I just consider spirits as people because they can be as articulate as we can be, although somewhat more straightforward depending on the level, while others can be a lot more ambiguous. Eh, you know, you never know what you'll find. Personally, that's kind of my answer that I've gotten so far, bringing back the Fae of spring and autumn. I don't know what other answer besides that and the freaking spirits of knowledge. If you have any other better ideas than me, you, you're free to say them. You know,
Yeah. But you do have pretty good ideas.
I just need to figure out why the hell aren't they reincarnated or, you know, reshaped like the rest of the spirits? Because I'm pretty sure both spring and fall are still a thing. So it it's kind of baffling to me to a certain degree.
You would have to find some to ask.
Yeah. Well, until I find the shaman that serves Chimera, you know, it's easier to talk to the shaman rather than Chimera himself, you know. At least in my book. Because if I want to talk to Chimera himself, I need to fucking prepare a ritual, make sure I've got enough chiminage, I'm being respectful, I'm taking my time, making sure I've got every tool in the right place, in the right order. But, you know, it's kind of like, ah, fucking hell.
One
You know,
thing after another.
that's kind of the trouble of being taught magic by both. Well, mainly I was taught by Hermetics and Verbena. From Hermetics taught me about uh, understanding procedure, while Verbena taught me to actually do something. You know, because that's basically Verbena in a nutshell. Do it, do it. You've got a plan, you've got an idea, you've created something awesome. Do it. At least that's what happened at the university that I went to, because of course both the Hermetics and the Verbena were doing a big recruiting drive of all of the orphans that were there, and by orphans I mean those that aren't aligned by with any crafts or traditions. So yeah, we were a bunch of students there that didn't have a tradition, and they were kind of being like, okay, here's what everything is about. Whereas Verbena were like, do it, do it, do it.
It's a little entertaining.
I mean, you should have been at one of the Verbena raves, because all of a sudden, after all of the strobe lights kind of faded, all of the green work appeared out of nowhere, time slowed down, it was an experience, you know.
Yeah.
And then someone awakened in the middle of it,
Oh
because
my goodness.
apparently during the middle of that initiation ceremony, someone had to awaken. I don't know how it happened,
Griffin are quite entertaining.
but you
Very
know
good with
what?
plants.
Hmm?
Very good with plants.
Yeah, a club full of plants. Seriously. But, one of the fucking adepts from the Order of Hermes kind of was immediately like, how dare she awaken during this ceremony, and wanted to stab the bitch. Well, every orphan there kind of was like, no, stop being a murderous asshole. Stop. And, you know, me being at the beginning, my wild's talent kept on manifesting, and through both the newly awakened mage and one of the mages. I'm not even sure how that happened, mind you. That wasn't planned. The second one with the mage just hurrying and falling on top of her and getting back into the Umbra, both of them. And I'm like, the fuck just happened? You know?
That does sound pretty crazy, even for a forbidden party.
Well, that hermetic adept kept on trying to explain his actions, and none of us orphans bought it. Like, none of us. You know?
That's fair.
Fuck, I went to the fucking. Uh, you know that apparently some hermetics have a fucking castle? Like, legit castle? Apparently, the Montreal ones had one right into a mountain, you know? And that
Yeah.
castle was part of that mountain.
Hmm.
And, jeez, all of the books at their library, it, just saying, that one was fucking huge. Like, multi story, fucking spiral staircase, the works, you know? I even accidentally went inside the book by accident. If I haven't said accident twice already.
Hmm.
It was one of those libraries. Plus, all of the game systems.
All of the game systems?
Yes, it's like console heaven. That that was the place. Like, yes, I could fucking play everything. Think of a console and they had it.
Wow. That sounds impressive.
Yeah. I don't know where those house tool uh, people went off at that point, but well, just saying, they had all of the game systems, and I'm like, yes, I got to play, I got to study at that huge ass library. Too bad some of the fucking hermetics there were a bit cray cray. You know,
Yeah,
like
some of them, some of them can get a little overboard.
yeah, that and the headmaster of that castle was clearly just at a recruitment drive while zombies were roaming down the streets. He didn't give a fuck. He just wanted more hermetics to join the ranks.
It's a little messed up.
Yeah, that's why I GTFO'd out of there. Actually, get the fuck out of there. Yeah, I got the fuck out of there. I didn't. I didn't fucking want to stay any minute longer. Fuck, I worked out with the Romanian embassy and went to the fucking US. I didn't even want to be in the same country as those assholes.
That's fair.
And you know, another fucked up thing? Every time I look at the news about seeing uh, of the Montreal riots and the shit that I went through just hopping on rooftops with the other orphans like me, and there was nothing about it. No news, even though at the time when I was there with everyone, it's like nothing, you know, not a peep of it. Business as usual. The cover up game was strong with them, apparently. I don't know. I want to believe, you know, on the whole, every person is their own person and shit like that. But
Yeah,
then there are people that just are messed the fuck up, you know?
yeah,
Uh, and hey, a few adventures later, I get to be here in Minneapolis, and basically, I've been taught some things like, you know, because I was struggling a bit with my own religion at one point or another, and I got to meet one of the magi that helped me go through that bit of my life, and you know, realize that fuck, I can be a mage and agnostic as well. I don't have to be religious to be spiritual.
yeah. That is true.
Yes. Uh, a lot of my life, up till I don't know, 12 years old, kind of was an Orthodox Christian. But the more I kind of learned about the various mythologies of the world, and then about Catholics, that there are Roman and Greek Catholics, you know, the United Church, as it were,
Mhm.
and then Shinto, Buddhist, the various variations of Judeo Christianism that are out there with all of those Protestant things and the Muslims and it keeps on going and going and going and I'm like, okay, stop, stop, stop. I can't, you know, I just couldn't.
That's fair.
And I was a kid back then, and I kept on finding out more and more and more and more about everyone else, and I couldn't believe at that point that my religion was the only one, and it was the only one just, and the only one whatever. I just couldn't. And it's kind of ironic since a lot of those of the choir usually believe in one religion or another to signify the one in the prime as their god, which
Mhm.
I'm like, the whole concept of God is like, to me, a thing of I don't get, because if God is almighty and all powerful, why are there fucking diseases that kill children at birth or during their infancy?
Mhm.
Or humanity being so shit with each other that literally gave birth to monsters all over the place, both supernatural and just humans that are kind of horrid. So I made my own answer, which is the God machine. Everyone is making it. Everyone, everything, everywhere. God may have had a hand in creating the universe, maybe, possibly, but that's not what the God machine represents right now. The
Mhm.
God machine represents the whole of creation. It is all celestial bodies, everyone, everything, all thoughts, all prayers, everything. And each and every one of us contributes to that one song that represents the God machine. And we're basically making noise right now instead of a harmonious song. That's why generally I'm more of a middle of the road type guy, because
Mhm.
I'm at least trying to find a solution that sort of appeases the most people possible, if I can. You know, there could be a balance. That's why I picked this particular spiritual patron, because we kind of gel in views and we talk about stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. It took me years to get to the place that I am now.
Seems like you're in a good place then.
I'm what?
Are you in a good place?
I'm better than before, and I'll be better tomorrow as soon as I figure out more things. Because I'm still a work in progress, just like everyone else. I'm a force of creation and change. I've been born in a time of revolution,
Mhm.
and my whole story is of change and search of meaning. My whole life is like that. That's why it's interesting when I think about it, you know?
Yeah.
Just to some everything means order without change. To others everything has to die. And other people are just looking for the next quest and they can't stay in one place at all.
Mm.
While I'm just changing all the time. I'm learning. I hope that whatever mistakes I do make, I learn from them and become a better person as a consequence. And hopefully, what I achieve will benefit the people around me.
It was very noble pursuit. I'm not so noble.
Well, while I say I hope that, I already told you my end goal as magic. Creating the stargates and all that.
Mm.
That's a selfish pursuit if I ever seen one. Sure, I like everyone to go through them to make sure that the thing works, but I want to make it. You know, I want to make it and make sure that I know every bit of it, every nook and cranny, every piece of technology that needs to be there, piece of mystic art that needs to go through it. I want to know everything about it. Me.
Which, where would you go first?
Hmm?
Where would you go first when you have these things made?
At best, I'll have them made in a few years, maybe, if I'm lucky. But
Where would you like to go first?
I want to see one of the worlds that, there was a cartoon in my youth called Digimon. And I want to go to that particular part of the digital world where Digimon are a thing. With all of their Digivolutions and whatever knickknacks to go there.
Mhm.
Personally, I prefer out of all of them Digimon Tamers the most because you could trick out your Digimon with fucking magic cards like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, until they went later on in the series where the whole magic card thing was more superfluous. Like, way to drop the ball, guys. And only until the end they figure out, oh wait, we have the magic cards. We can totally use them again. Like, for fuck's sake, people, the concept was cool, but they had to drop the fucking ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm going to go to that part of the digital world and be like, okay, people, I know that there's, fusions and fucking whatever ultimate evolutions and going back and forth to the evolution ladder and whatever have you. But I'm bringing back the magic cards to make you stupid powerful again. you
Yes,
know.
that's fine.
And I'm going to have my Digivice be the coolest Digivice ever.
Oh,
Like, it will be so awesome. Like, I'm going to take everything that I've seen throughout all of the series and make it so freaking. It'll be like the ultimate Digivice that you've ever seen before. You know, it will it will sustain all of the evolutions that are in the series, and uh, it will sustain insertion of Quint in it because I'm a fucking mage, of course, and magic cards.
magic
We,
cards too.
we're bringing back the magic cards and we're making our Digimon be the best ass Digimon ever. Like, you wouldn't believe. Because the Digimon designs, especially when you're really imagining their, it's like reliving Digimon World Dusk. Because I don't want Dawn. Fuck Dawn. I want Dusk. Even though Dawn technically has later on better Digimon to play in that video game, I still like Dusk because Lunamon is my fave. Just saying. Until you get to Dianamon. But still, that evolution line is better than the fucking. That's just my preference, okay? Out of all of the games, I still like that one the best. Because they had a Digimon City in
Or it's just the monsters, or was it?
people and the monsters
Hmm,
with multiple levels. You had your own home where you can basically uh, create from the data that you analyzed from other Digimon your own Digimon and start breeding them in their own environments and fucking decking them out with all of the cool powers. And it's like, yes, you know,
mhm.
you had to go up and down the evolution ladder from time to time just to get them more powerful. But when you do, it's so satisfying when you get to the tournament and all of your slots are filled with the kick-ass powerful Digimon, and you're going against stronger and stronger foes until it's like you're the ultimate super awesome champion of them all.
You're really excited about this.
You know, I'm a mage, and the funny thing is, as long as humanity has thought of it, there will be a place in the Umbra about it.
The dreaming too.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, there are mages that have ascended that literally create planets with all of the wildlife within them. Just saying.
Let's see.
So it's not that far fetched to get into a part of the digital world where Digimon are a thing.
You just need a way to get there.
I mean, technically, I could go right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean I get into the exact part of the digital world that I want right now.
Yeah.
Because, to my chagrin, because there are no fucking defenses that can keep us from the outer darkness, running into an avatar storm is a risk that is very real. So, kinda, we need to put the defenses back up so that we don't run into an avatar storm while we find the dreamland place of ours. Because in the same breath, yeah, sure, I can go to sleep and go to whatever part of the mass unconscious of humanity. I could go there. Nothing's stopping me. I have enough mind. That doesn't mean I'll end up into the dreaming realm that mimics the Digimon world. I might ending up in a nightmare world.
That would
I don't know.
be a bad idea.
I know, but how do I figure which way is up or down or left or right? Because dreams tend to be wacky. They fuck with your sense of direction. And especially in the Umbra, where, yeah, your sense of direction is real fucked. Just saying, it's a thing. I've
I
been in a
believe you.
few. I've been in a few places within the Umbra, so I know that it's complicated. Especially getting around to the places where you want to be and not the place where you're not supposed to be. Because it's really easy to get to this place where you're not supposed to be. Which is annoying, but what can I do?
Yeah.
It's a thing. Where would you want to go if you've got the Stargate?
Hogwarts. Oh, good to Hogwarts. I know it seems a bit cliche, but I really liked the books growing up.
Ah. Well, hey, it's somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. There might be a place in the dreaming where Hogwarts is a thing, or there might be a place in the Umbra where Hogwarts is a thing. The problem is just pinpoint the right dimension and get there. 'Cause that's usually the trickiest part, getting there. I mean, sure, I can teleport wherever the fuck I want within the city or within the Umbra if it comes to it. That doesn't necessarily mean that I will arrive where I want to. Or
Yeah,
go.
surviving is going to be the difficult part.
Yeah, arriving, surviving, making sure that you don't piss the fuck off everyone that is there. Because that's a thing. Just saying. It is a real concern of mine because sure, I want to get to Hogwarts.
Mhm.
But where in Hogwarts do I get to?
Also win.
Yeah, because it's a very high possibility that I might end up into the Forbidden Forest. Oops.
Or you could end up at the war of Hogwarts. Battle of Hogwarts.
Or that, or get into one of its dungeons when fucking Voldemort is being experimenty and stuff, and be like, "Oh hey, how's it going? Ooh, test subject. Yoink." Again, that's a real concern. There are literally ghosts there because Voldemort was being an asshole.
Yeah.
And yes, I haven't forgotten the temporal component of the Stargate. 'Cause that's why I kind of need all nine to make it a thing.
That's completely fair. How are you on your progress with learning all of them?
Well, I know all of the the teleport related ones, and to a lesser degree, I know. Uh, well, forces, matter, entropy, and prime.
Mhm.
But you know, life and time, they're the two that I didn't touch at all.
Those might be a smidge important.
Those are a lot important, especially if you want to make a force field that filters out all the xenomorphs and predators that are out there.
That's true.
And of course, you need time to stabilize the spatial temporal matrix in order to make sure that you get when you want to get instead of, well, whenever, because that's a real concern. You you may want to get into the right place, but not necessarily at the right time. But hey, it's a work in progress. What can I say?
Do you know we've been doing this thing for almost like 2 hours?
What about 2 hours?
We've been doing this thing for almost 2 hours.
I know, right? It's this character. I can literally speak for hours. Because mage. Uh, but anyway. So yeah, I'm still trying to max out forces, matter, and prime, and eventually entropy. So that, well, forces, matter, and prime because I want to have a stable power source. Entropy because, hey, I want things to go my way and everything to not break down at the first sign of trouble. And then life and time, technically. I just haven't found the right book to study how to make things with techno shamanism.
Hmm.
Because I know from I think Discovery Channel that technically the Native Americans used to, when they made their clothing and weaponry and whatever else, they sewed and put in their blessings. So everything within their um, tools and clothing and their houses represented something, you know? They carried meaning and purpose. That's why it's like kind of hard to think, especially when it comes to more modern. How do you put it in a modern perspective of the tools without just looking like an antiquated club or whatever? Especially since the Stargate is technically a techno magical device.
Did you think about using nuclear energy?
Well, yeah, that's why I need forces and matter and prime. Don't forget prime. Because I still need to siphon from a node when I turn it on.
Well, build it on top of the ley line.
Exactly. Because that's why I want it in usually in chantries, because they generally have it. Generally. Not all of them, but a lot. That's why I'm like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
But that's the general snag that I've hit so far. I haven't figured out how to translate the working blessings into things in a way that makes sense to the thing that I'm making.
Oh,
But, you know, I'm still searching, and at one point or another, I may find out.
what if, when you built the Stargate and you decide to go to space, what spirits would you use for, creating a vortex? Not creating a vortex, basically.
Usually, I'd make sure that a I know where exactly I'm going.
Uh-huh.
That's the first thing. Know where you want to go and dial into that place, whether it's this dimension or another. You have to know where you want to go and when you want to go. And make sure that you detect whether or not it's safe to actually sustain life while you're there. Because sure, the thing has built-in life shield bubble that you can peek your head through. That's fine. That doesn't mean that after you get outside the bubble, you may not suffocate instantly. Because that's the thing. Is because I get you there, that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna survive it.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that I have to think about when I want to fix the kinks out of it, especially when I talked to Verbena about what spheres I want to use to make it, and that dude kind of said to me like, "Bro, bro, don't forget any spheres. You kind of need them all, like legit all nine." And the more I thought about it, the more it's like, yeah, he's right. Because I kind of need every one of them to actually make the damn thing work. Whether or not it's to get me to a place, powering the thing up, make sure that it's at the right place, right time, right coordinates in wherever it may be. It to keep on working while I'm there and protect me so that fucking these Tyranids don't just suddenly show up because I forgot to put up a shield.
Yeah.
Because, I may have fucked the earth if Tyranids just show up.
What if you made a thing based around an airlock? Like, you would go into an airlock and then the portal would be on the other side of the airlock.
Yeah, that would be an interesting added layer of security to make the portal a bit longer, so that there is kind of a uh, maybe it could work, but then again, I'd have to make it needlessly long because vehicles. If people want to bring in their vehicles there, they could. But again, I'm running into the same issue whether the atmosphere won't just, I don't know, blow everything the fuck up.
That's what the airlock would be for.
Mm, yeah, but that doesn't guarantee that on the other side everything is safe, especially when you go with the vehicle. Because there's always a catch that I'm not seeing, which is annoying. Because let's say that I have messed up my calculations and I'm entering an intergalactic wartime. Oops. And the moment someone goes through the portal, they're right in the middle of a firefight. Oops. You know? And then suddenly Force choke and hey, look, there's Darth Vader. You're fucked. Straight up. He doesn't give a fuck. You're in his way. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be Darth Vader personally, but any anyone that's just shooting at you with a regular blaster, pew pew pew,
Mhm.
done. It's not like you're carrying an energy shield. I know.
Well, I actually had a lot of fun talking, but I should probably head home, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. This was a fun break, but I should probably go and do everything that I just said right now.
Yeah, it's a pleasure talking.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to see if anything that I just said will work, and hopefully nothing will blow up in the meantime. I
Okay.
can't guarantee that, but I'll try.
Yeah, have a
See
nice
you
night.
later. See you later, Rose.
It's Alden or Allen or
Aling. Yeah.
Allen. Okay. Have a nice night, Alden. And thank you for watching this mini episode. Have a nice night.